Yugi Bros!
What's up, my Yugi Bros? It's Connor, and I'm here with a deck profile today regarding to the new Master Rule 5 and the new April 1st, 2020 ban list. ABC took a bit of a hit putting Buster Dragon to 1. I think it was kind of unnecessary. I don't think this deck was going to be 2-2 out of the gate, but you know what? We'll take it as it is, and we'll work with it. So I play in a lot of tech cards. I feel like this Photon Orbital is the perfect thing to explain. We're playing this because even though it's not a Union Carrier, the new Link monster from Duel Overload, can put this on a machine monster you control. So you can equip this essentially to Union Carrier and then use its effect to send it as an equip card to the grave to add a Photon or Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand, making it so that you guarantee always get Galaxy Soldier turn 1, so you can always make your Cyber Dragon Infinity, since we're kind of short on Buster Dragons. So I'll go over the list real quick, and then as an added bonus, I will throw in a few test hands that I messed with, just to give you guys kind of like a differential of like good to bad hands, or like everyone knows the perfect ABC hand. So some of the hands I have in here are not so perfect, so you can see what it still can do. Kicking off, we play Machina Fortress. We just play one. This is kind of great to enable. It's a brick enabler essentially. Like if you open too many pieces, but you have it, you can basically pitch the pieces and it summon itself, and then use it as a material for most of the time a Union Carrier. It was really good in testing. I gotta go a little bit further. I feel like this deck needs more boss monsters now, since Buster's at 1. But we'll see what it goes at. We play 3A, 3B, 3C. I feel like that's standard, especially when you're playing 3 Desires, 3 Gold, 3 Silver Gadget, 3 Galaxy Soldier, the 1 Photon Orbital, 1 Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. I don't see why people still don't play this card in this deck. It just gives you free combos, free rank 4s, free links. It's too good to be true. Then we play the Symphonic package. 3 guitar, 2 mics. The only reason I don't play 3 mics is the card clogs, even though you're playing 3 Desires. Usually it's just like, okay, you open it, cool. If you don't worry about it. It's not a huge deal. But the extra normal summon can get you, can go the distance. 3 Hanger, 1 Terraforming, 1 Foolish Burial, 3 Desires, as I said, 3 Call by the Grave to make sure our combos go off, and 3 Twin Twister. And I went with Twin Twister in the main over Impermanence. Twin's great. Getting the discard usually gives you extra ways to get Buster out faster turn 1. And as much as I love Impermanence right now, we're kind of going into a free format, especially with the Crush card Ultimate Virus going around. We don't really have too many events to go off of. So I think Twin's just a little bit more stable option. Everything I have in my side deck is just other options I was thinking of playing in here. Heavy Mech Support Armor's cool. It's an Altair for Unions, but it's a level 3, which kind of makes it lackluster. Otherwise, I'd definitely play it, because you could search it with Carrier. The Dragon Buster, obviously, is another option if you play another Dark and or Dragon. But we don't really open on something like that, where it makes it super relevant. Going second, we have the Mind Control as an option. Definitely could put it in the main deck. I'm not even against playing this deck 41, 42. You're playing Desires 3, so it's not a terrible idea. But if you are locked into if you're locked into going first turn 1 after the dice roll, you don't want to open that Mind Control. It literally does nothing for you. Monster Reborn is another option that should probably be in the main deck, but every time I open it in a combo hand, going first, unless it's perfect for specific situations, I'd rather it just be like another card into the deck, so we put it back to 40. Upstart goes for the same reason if you want to cut anything in here at 3. Dark Ruler No More is really good going second, but again, we're kind of making this more generic first or second. Magnoverse is an alternative to Monster Reborn that definitely solves the Call by the Grave issue now, where if they Call by the Grave your Buster, you can't get it back with Emerald, so Magnoverse can summon it back. But right now, like I said, we're just kind of going generic here. Impermanence, like I said, we could definitely throw in those in the future. But for now, I'd probably just side them. Red Reboot's the side option. Union Scramble's really slow, but it summons up to 3 of your banished Light Machine Unions. And that can be really, really good. But we don't really have a problem summoning those back, assuming Buster doesn't get negated. Because even if it does, we still have multiples in the deck. It's just the fact that we only have 1 Buster. The Bujin Ki Urasuda, I'm sure I'm butchering the name. That might even be the wrong Bujin. The new Bujin link from Duel Overload. It's actually really cool. When you link summon it, you can special summon a monster from your hand and your grave with the same level, and then immediately after that effect resolves, XYZ summon a monster. And then if an XYZ monster that it points to detaches a material, you can target a spell and trap your opponent controls and destroy it. That's really good. Going second, extra spell and trap destruction, and gives you another rank 4. Unfortunately, I just don't really have the space for it. In testing, I definitely wanted to play Cross Sheep as well, but Nightmare Cerberus ended up coming in too clutch in specific matchups. I think Cerberus gets better with Master Roll 5 because a lot of people will now summon to their regular Mind Monster zones, in which case Cerberus is now more live than it ever has been in the past. So that's the reason we're not playing that. Cross Sheep, like, in addition to, like, what I just said, Cross Sheep ended up having a lot of situations where it just kind of fell short of a combo piece. You kind of don't want to make the Appaloosa turn 1, you want to make the IP if you can. That way you can get it maximized out with 4 negates on your opponent's turn, assuming you have the Buster Dragon. Triple Burst Dragon was just more like generic options, and also a Dragon Dark and or Dragon if I played the Buster Dragon. Same goes here for Unchained Abomination. It's a Dark. You could equip the thing, but it's a really long shot if you want to go that distance. And even though he's a really good rank 4, most of the time you're dedicating your stuff to either Appaloosa or Boral Sword to go for game. And then last but not least, I have Photon Galaxy Photon Dragon. This card's cool. It also works with Buster Dragon, and it also says monsters with 2,000 or more attack cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So you can protect your Buster Dragon, you can protect your Appaloosa if you didn't IP it already, blah, 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 blah. But, like, again, it's just an extra lot of carrying onto your combo. You don't want to, like, super overextend, so we're not playing that. As far as the extra goes, we play the one Buster, like I said, the one Union Carrier. I feel like Union Carrier is a one of. Like, once you have it, you have it. I mean, I guess in this deck, it's the only argument that you can play more than one, so you can get the Photon Orbital later in the game. But if you don't do it turn 1, I don't think it's really necessary. We play the one IP because it's obvious. Phoenix Nightmare Unicorn because they're amazing. Appaloosa because it's a staple. Borosaur because it's a staple. Dagaris I have made a spot for over Bujin, Tsukiyomi. Because Tsukiyomi took 2 light monsters, discarded your entire hand, minimum 1, and drew 2. Whereas Dagaris, you can just skip your next draw phase, draw 2, and then discard 1. Gives you more options, gives you more leeway, and doesn't have to be both level 4 lights. Even though, like in this deck, outside of Zephyros, you're not playing anything else that's not a light. But if you mind control, like in different matchups or whatever in the future, then you want that thing to be more live. The card's just really good in general. I think it just surpasses Tsukiyomi at this point. One Exciton Knight. Oh, I'm sorry, the one Emerald. Emerald's a staple now. I was actually playtesting 2 Emerald before I realized it was still a 1. I thought for some reason it went to 3 at this point. Because you need it now, because Buster's at 1. That's how you get it back, essentially. I feel like once you drop the second Buster off of bringing it back off Emerald, that's usually when you have the game. I don't know, I think the deck became a little more skillful in that respect. But it's definitely not tier 1 for sure. It's just a really fun deck going into this new Master Rule. But Emerald definitely gives you the reach, basically, that you could need. Also lets you recycle Galaxy Soldiers if for some reason you felt the need with an Infinity to make that again. Exciton Knight, originally I wasn't playing this, but in a lot of playtesting, it came up. It can come up, so I feel like it's too good not to play. You might as well play it. Tornado Dragon stable, Bitswiller stable, and then Nova Infinity package because of the Galaxy Soldiers and the mics. Mics can do that too because it's a level 5 machine. This is the deck that I have going into the rule for now. I'll show you the test hands right now. So this hand is kind of meh, but you do have the hangers, so we're going to Desires first because we don't want a hanger until we see what we can get. Also, we want to see what we banished off Desires to make sure we still have pieces left in the deck. We're playing the Orbital, like I said, giving you that extra reach, but we opened it, unfortunately, so it's not going to do too much here. So we'll go ahead and add a. It looks like we banished a Zephyros, we banished a Galaxy Soldier, those are both relevant. Everything else is kind of meh until you get to the last A, but like I said, we're playing 3, so it's not a huge deal. So this hand's not going to be ideal, but I like showing the non-ideal hands because everyone knows how to play ABC with the ideal hands. This isn't going to be great, but we're going to summon C, equip B, pitch an A for a soldier, special another soldier by pitching the orbital that has no use in our hand anymore. That'll make our infinity. And sadly, I would love to play Clara Ruska, but obviously she can't be used turn 1 because she has to be summoned in the main phase 2. So these will all just get banished for your Buster Dragon. It's not fantastic, but it still ends on Infinity Buster. I mean, what can you do, right? Hand number 2. This still looks just as bad, except for we have the guitar. The guitar says if you use the pendulum effect, you can discard a card to special summon a Symphonic Warrior from your deck. What's cool about that is that if you summon Mike's here, Mike says when it's summoned, it just gives you an extra normal summon for the rest of the turn, which is awesome. So we're going to pitch the B and do that. Then we're going to Desire, see where we can go from here. We're going to do the Mikes first, obviously, because we only play 2. We don't have Desires it. Orbital got banished, so we can't do the Galaxy play. A and 1 Galaxy Soldier are gone. So we should be fine. Oh, I'm sorry, A and a B. So we should be fine. Trying to get our combo going. We can't do our Union Hanger play, but that's fine. We were thinking about pitching both for Machina Fortress to summon Fortress and then link these two. But then I realized there's a little bit better of a line here if instead you just normal summon the C and then use your extra normal summon to summon the other Mikes. Yeah, we could have Pendulum summoned, but I feel like this is just a better situation. You foolish the last piece for the Buster Dragon. You make the infinity here with the 2 Mikes, which is hilarious. You can even do that. That way Mike's isn't always a potential brick, as much as you might think it is. And then you banish the 3 here for a Buster Dragon. So again, we end on Infinity Buster. It's not fantastic, but it is the best. It is the best you can make usually out of the worst hands. And then you pitch the Fortress for Buster, and Fortress can come back in the future. This hand, we open a guitar, so we're going to pitch an A. We're going to summon a Mike's. What's cool here is we can kind of loop the A's, which I like. So we'll Gold Gadget into A. We'll link the Mike's and the A to make the Union Carrier. Then we'll have the other A, add the other A back to our hand. It's kind of confusing. And what's cool here is now you get to see what the pendulum effects actually be relevant. You activate the other scale Mike's, and then we pendulum both a Mike's from our extra deck to an arrow our link points to, and then our A from our hand. This in turn allowing us to then have Carrier equip B to A. Then we're going to link the Mike's and the A off, so send B for the IP. A will add the other A, and B will search the C. And if you remember correctly, we still have another normal summon, thanks to Mike's. So we're going to then normal summon the C, and then we can overlay these to a Daguerreus. Daguerreus can then detach 2. I like keeping everything in like faraway zones here. Detach 2 to draw 2, and then discard 1 and skip our next draw phase. But at this point, we're so far ahead. If we knew we were going to draw a Galaxy Soldier here, we probably could have done some crazy play with the Mikes if we kept the other Mikes on the field. But obviously, like, maybe we wouldn't have gotten to this point. Unfortunately, it's okay. We still have the IP. At this point, we pitch the A for Daguerreus' effect, and then we banish all 3 to summon our Buster Dragon once again. Keep in mind, you always want to keep 3 zones open, or 2 zones open with Buster's zone, so when it banishes for cost, he has 3 zones available to summon his pieces to. But yeah, guys, so that is a few test hands. Let me know in the comments down below whether you'd change anything or not. If you've been messing around with ABC, or you have a friend that's been doing it, let me know how they've been doing. And as always, comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to try to start doing more deck lists with test hands afterward, just to give you guys like a generalization of what the decks can do. And sure, they may not all be tier 1, but if you know anything about me, you know I love playing tier 2 and 3 decks, and I love breaking any mechanics possible. And since Duel Overload came out, we have a plethora of new cards to mess around with. So definitely stay tuned, because I have a bunch more ideas I want to mess around with.